Good morning, and thank you for joining me for my persuasive speech on organ donation. Today in our audience we have Monica, Maria, Jim,
Hello.
and Melissa. Organ donation is a very important topic for me because it really hits home. In 2005, my mother was diagnosed with renal failure. Her kidneys were functioning between 10 and 20% on a good day. As a result, her doctors told her she needed to go to dialysis no less than 3 times a week so that her body could keep up. Her physicians completed the referral for organ transplant, and she was denied because of chronic heart conditions. In 2014, on December 31st, she passed away. The doctors told us that after we ended her dialysis, it would take 7 to 10 days. That fighter of my mother lasted 28. The hardest part was to watch her slowly deteriorate, to watch her organs fail, one by one, and know that when she died, she had no more viable organs to save anyone else's life. Organ donation has a fantastic history, and it follows the same history as medical science has for the last 150 years. In 1869, doctors in America performed the first successful skin transplant. Almost 100 years later, the first successful kidney transplant was completed on a live donor. One identical twin gave his organ to his brother, and they both survived and thrived into healthy old age. In 1962 and 1963, doctors tried their hand at harvesting organs from a deceased donor and putting them in the living. All the kidney, lung, and liver transplant recipients survived. In 1984, organ donation was on the rise, and so was organ sales. So the United States government stepped in and banned organ sales in the United States and passed an act called the National Organ Transplant Act. It prohibited the sale, but it also made it more equitable for recipients to receive organs. And so we had the Department of Transplantation, who would review the medical charts and determine who was the most need and had the most potential to thrive with an organ transplant. In 2005, France completed the first partial face transplant. There's some terrifying and interesting facts about organ transplantation. The saddest, perhaps, is that every 10 minutes somebody's added to the organ transplant list. That means every 10 minutes somebody gets a death sentence and hopes that somebody else is generous enough to give their organs when they die. 21 people die a day because there's simply not enough organs. 124,000 people in the United States alone are awaiting organ transplants. 2,000 of those are pediatric cases. 14,414 received transplants in 2014. There's a growing need. And if you look at this graph, you can see these are the people who donated. It stayed pretty level since 1991, and the people who need continue to rise. The gap just gets bigger. So there's a process to get an organ donation. The first one is a referral from your physician. You receive what feels like a death sentence. Your organ's failing you and it needs to come out of your body. Your doctor fills out the referral and attaches your medical chart, and it goes to the Division of Transplantation for review. They conduct an extensive review of your current state and your medical history. If you're approved, your wait begins, and hopefully there's an organ in time. But what happens if you're not approved? What happens if the list is just simply too long? The black market's what happens. So many Americans and wealthy benefactors around the world turn to the black market when there feels like there's no more help. There's some myth to the black market. We've all heard the urban legend, you wake up in your bathtub full of ice and your kidney's missing, with a note that says get to the hospital as soon as possible. Fortunately, there's really no documented cases for that. The reality is much more grim. In 2010, the WHO, the World Health Organization, claimed that more than 10,000 organs were sold on the black market worldwide. Some countries even advertise this trade and say, donate a kidney and buy a new iPad. Kidneys make up 75% of the illegal organ trade, and the recipients can expect to pay between $100,000 and $200,000 just to receive that organ. How much the person gets paid is a stark difference. The incision for over the illegal market trade is over 12 inches long. In the United States, if you donate an organ, such as a kidney as a living organ, the incision is between 1 and 3 centimeters. You can see this incision mark on the side of this victim. It's over 1 foot long. If a live donor were to donate their kidney today, you would not even see the scars anymore. The seller generally gets between $400 and $5,000, $400 in the third world countries and the most remote. These kidney brokers and organ brokers prey on the poor, the people with debts, the people who just want to feed their families, and they feel no other option is to sell bits and pieces of themselves until there's nothing left to sell. There's little or no medical care for post-operation for the donors. They get sent home, stitched up, and sent home. Your organ donation can save 8 lives. As a living donor, you can give a piece of your liver or even a kidney. But when you die, if you opt into organ donation, your liver, corneas, heart, lungs, skin, kidneys can all save a life. It takes 2 minutes to change this person's life. It takes 2 minutes to make a difference to the 124,000 people who wait patiently. Don't think of organ donations as giving up a part of yourself to keep a total stranger alive. It's really a total stranger giving up almost all of themselves to keep a piece of you alive. There's an option to donate. You can donate as a live donor, a piece of your liver or your kidney. Or when tragedy strikes your family, that tragedy can turn into a ray of hope for somebody else's family. Please visit donatelife.org today and consider donating your kidneys or any of your organs. Thank you.